Hi friends, we are very happy in Jeevan Utsav to have with us today Captain Sanat Bhate. The very look of him will you don't have to say that he's a captain. He's captain of every aspect of his life. 82-year-old Sanat has lived a life which has been a celebration in every phase of his rich and very, very exciting life that he has led so far. And today we're going to engage him in conversation to know more about it. So, Sanat, welcome to Jeevan Utsav. Thank you for
Yes,
accepting our
thank you.
invitation.
Thank you indeed.
And I'd like to start with the very beginning. I understand you were born, brought up in Pune, but your mother, the celebrated Kathak Guru Rohini Bhate, and your father, a Kathak Guru Ranga Vitthal. And how come you never took to Kathak as a child?
Actually, in those days, I think had I been a girl child, I might have taken up Kathak.
Okay.
But what happened is, in those days, we were thinking of the boys never dance.
Okay.
So my mother tried, but I ran away from dance. And today I'm feeling sorry about it.
Oh, you are.
I might have done it better.
Yeah. And I know, Sanat, that you were one of those very lucky child who had three mothers. Your own mother, then her elder two sisters who did not have their own children. So you were kind of mothered a lot from childhood. So were you pampered and spoiled?
That I don't know, but my mother was always busy and she would be out of station most of the time. So I started calling my grandmother mother, my aunt mother, other aunt mother. And then I didn't know what to say to my own mother. So all the sisters and grandmother used to call my mother baby. So I started calling my mother I baby.
Hi, baby.
Yes.
Well, that's unusual. But I'm sure you must have been really showered with all the love and affection, which, according to me, is the result, is the cause of how you are giving so much of joy and happiness to so many people in your life. So we'll come to that a little later. So let's start at the age of 18. You joined Dufferin, the training ship,
Yes.
and then became a seaman, and you were 50 years in merchant navy and with fantastic experiences. Friends, I've listened to Sanat's stories and I can't tell you, it can go on for hours and hours, and I've been begging him to write a book about all his experiences because they're unusual. But Sanat, some of those experiences we would like you to share with our audience. Which were those most thrilling experiences as a merchant navy captain and then a shipper, whatever?
I think, the ships that we worked on were very large, 100,000 tonners, 150,000 tonners, 200,000 tonners. And when you are on a large ship like that, when the ocean is calm, waters are calm, you feel you are on a very large ship. But when you have a bad weather, real rough weather, then you realize how small you are.
Oh,
And in 1982, we were crossing Pacific, and we were not very far from Guam. And there is a shoal there, and I was very worried that with 60 feet waves, when the trough comes, we might hit the bottom. And in those days, no GPS, and we didn't have any navigational positions because the sky was covered up with clouds. And at that time, there was no help from anywhere else. Ship received a lot of damages, and my wife was on board, and I decided to turn the ship around. And there was a Norwegian ship close to my ship, and there was a very senior captain. I was at that time, I think, 2 years or 3 years as a captain. And I asked him on VHF, sir, I'm thinking of turning around and going back. There were 10, 15 other ships, smaller ones around. Nobody replied to my answer. So this Norwegian chap must be 50, 60 years old from his voice. And he turned around and said, "Captain, don't turn round. When you turn round, when you come, when the sea comes abeam of you, so much water will come that you will go under." So I waited for 12, 13 hours. And then in the morning, when I was doing Shavasana, I suddenly got different kind of tremors from the ship's structure. And I told my wife, "Get ready, I'm going to turn around." And emergency alarm was sounded. The whole crew, officers, engineers came on the bridge, which is a navigational area. And I said, "I'm turning around and go and get ready. I want everybody with full clothing." And just for the benefit of everybody around here, no matter what you do, it's not going to help. We didn't have our lifeboats were already damaged, life rafts were damaged. So if you are going down, we are all going down. So I got everybody up on the bridge, and they came and people being people, a lot of people carried their certificates and money and everything, which would be of no use.
Yeah.
Yes. And then I turned around. I had a coffee in from me and turned the ship around. And believe me, the ship behaved so well. Of course, you had to judge which wave you're going to ride and turn. So that I did it in a correct professional manner.
Amazing.
And even my coffee cup didn't move when we turned around.
Oh.
And for 2.5 days, I went back towards Los Angeles instead of we were going to Japan.
Guam.
And we turned around again when the weather improved. And when I reached Urago Shura, which is entrance to Tokyo Bay, the owners of the cargo came up to the pilot station, came on board, and completely filled up all my ship with flowers.
Oh.
I don't know how many $1,000 they paid for that. And then they said, "Captain, thank you very much. The cargo you are carrying is the first shipment of oil from Chile to Japan.
Oh.
And do you know that all the ships which were with you, they've gone down?" So the Norwegian captain that I had been speaking to, he with his ship, which was like 80,000 tonner ship, and 5, 6 other ships which I had no contact with, but we could see on the radar, they all went down, and we were the only ones to come through.
Amazing. So that is that judgment at that point in time, which must have been years of experience, of course, and like we say, being present-minded and having the guts to take a decision against an advice.
No, I had very little experience at that time of.
So intuition.
I think something comes from above.
Yes. So this and like this, friends, he has stories and stories to tell, and my request to him has always been to write a book because they are amazing. Coming back to being a merchant navy person, I know, Sanat, that Kargil Shipment, one of the largest companies, had you as the first colored captain of a large oil carrying tanker, and all the staff under you were white. What was that experience? Did you feel that you had to really work hard, that they respect you as a captain?
You see, what happens, I'll just shift back a bit. Lot of us Indians, we are very confident when we are with other Indians. But some white people come. White people is the wrong way of saying it.
Yeah.
But especially if some Britisher comes, then everybody tends to get their tails down. And there is no reason for that. And we have such a lot of background and such inner strengths in our own people and our own DNA
Yeah.
that in fact we could really give correct retort at correct time. My experience was there were a couple of one or two more Indians along with me who were promoted there, but they didn't act like captains.
Oh.
They still, the Europeans on board still ruled them. Whereas I was a type who would kick ass type. So you
can
do
imagine.
you do something wrong, and I'm sacking you.
Yeah.
That's right. So I wasn't very liked person, but there were, for example, a new officer once in Barcelona. My ship was there, and a German officer came as a chief officer to join, and he landed upon the ship at 9 o'clock at night, and he came to my office to present his papers. And he was really surprised to see a colored man in front of him. And he said, where is the captain? Because I was in boiler suit. So I said, where is the captain? And I said, I am the captain. So he refused to shake hands, and he said, I'm returning, going back. And in Kargil International, we were the highest paid people in the world in shipping. And he's ready to let go the job.
Just because you're a colored captain.
Just because I'm colored. And I said, suit yourself, but I will not arrange your tickets. So while joining the ship, my company paid for you. While leaving, you pay your own fare back. That's it.
That's it. Excellent. And so, Sanat, your journey as was for 50 years of your life you were in Merchant Navy. But 10 years before you retired in 2012, you took to learning martial arts. What prompted you to learn martial arts, and now today you are conducting courses in martial art classes, free classes since several years for all the young and interested people, which is a great thing. But how come you thought of martial arts and you came to study martial arts so seriously?
Oh, in 1992, I decided to go to Kanyakumari to join Ekata Yatra.
Swami Vivekanand's.
No, this is Murli Manohar Joshi going from Kanyakumari to Kashmir.
Okay.
So that was the Ekata Yatra, and our today's Prime Minister was the manager of that yatra. And I wanted to join that yatra. So I drove down, and while en route, I had at Kasargod in Kerala, I just came down from the Ghats from Karnataka to plains on the other side. And there was a roadblock, and nearly 200 cars, buses. There was people from Ayappa, people going to Ayappa temple. They were there, and they were just stopped. So because 300 meters ahead there was a roadblock. So I went and I said, I don't see anybody there, and why people are stopping? And I gathered some 20, 30 people, truck drivers, bus drivers, and I took there and I removed that roadblock. When we were almost finishing removing the roadblock, some 10, 15 people attacked. Keralites, yes. And we didn't know, of course, but they were Communist Party, local Communist Party. Without our knowledge, that particular day, Communist Party of Kerala decided to give Kerala Bandh. And Congress was ruling, but Communist Party said Kerala Bandh, and they put roadblocks all over. We didn't know about it. We came and removed the roadblock, and we were attacked. And all these drivers and cleaners, some passengers, they ran, and they were all in lungis, and I was in trousers and almost like a military uniform. And both sides there were rice fields, and I couldn't run. So I got trapped, and I got beaten badly when they returned because I was the only one there. And 10 o'clock at night, finally, in one place, got myself bandaged and everything. So I only went with Yatra from there to Bangalore because my wounds would not heal.
Oh.
And then I came back to Pune and joined the ship. And I realized that that night, that evening, 7 o'clock, I would have been killed for no reason. And when I joined the ship, I decided that next time, when such a time comes, I wouldn't like to die alone. I will take 2-3 people with me. Whether it is possible or not possible, didn't know. But I will not go alone. I will kill 2-3 people at least. So I decided to
Learn martial
arts. Luckily, I met one special forces man in Alaska who was a little bit crazy because he spent some 10 years in Vietnam during Vietnam Wars. So I met him, and I told this story to him, and I said, I can't go to karate classes or taekwondo classes because I'm most of the time on the ship. So what should I do? He said, karate, taekwondo, no use. He said, you learn weapons. And I said, what weapons? So he said, okay, I get a sai for you. Sai is what, if somebody knows Ninja Turtles, the Ninja Turtles are using sai. So he brought a pair of sai for me and some cassettes. In those days, there used to be VHS cassettes. So a training program for that. The ship went to Japan and came back in this period, came back to Alaska again, Nikiski, Alaska. So I made this trip and back again. Then I realized this is a very nice weapon. But if I go on the street carrying heavy weapons, come on, you are never going to be ready for something like that.
Yeah.
And suppose something happens and I ended up hurting somebody bad, I will go to jail because they say, what were you doing with heavy weapons, steel weapons on the streets? So I told him, I said, this one is no good for me. What next? So he said, oh, you should go to Philippines for stick fighting. And that's how I got introduced to martial arts.
And then you upgraded by going to US and Canada to further.
Yes, I trained in USA, I trained in Canada, but the real master, Grandmaster, Nene Tortal, was in Philippines.
Okay.
And
then since almost 96, 97, 98, you started these free classes to train youngsters in martial arts. So what inspired you to do that?
No, you see, people have wrong idea of martial arts. When you say we have mainly karate or judo or something, when you say martial arts, come on, the best martial art for India is wrestling. And the people have given up. In Pune itself, there were 300, 400 akhadas. Today, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 or 10 maximum. But there were hundreds and hundreds of akhadas, and so they were in Nagpur or all over India, in fact.
Now gyms have come in place.
But wrestling is real martial art. Boxing is real martial art. Judo is martial art. Jiu-jitsu martial art. What I'm talking about is full contact. When you go to karate classes or something, uh, they are wearing all kind of armor because parents would not like if the children get or students get hurt and hurt badly. So there is no full contact. So I would say, what I'm saying is true, that these things are excellent as real good physical fitness.
Self protection.
No self protection.
If somebody hits you, then
No,
martial
no,
arts?
no. It is good for children get discipline. Children have. It's a nice physical activity, but if you want really to get onto the ground and fight, then it has to be either boxing or wrestling or any one of these things which are available. To put it in normal words, many times it happens that there are gundas in India around panpatti shops. पान वाले के दुकान पे होते हैं.
हाँ होता है.
हाँ, एंड जिम में बहुत बॉडी कमाई है, एंड देन यू गो ऑन द स्ट्रीट एंड समथिंग हैपन्स एंड सम small guy on the street fighter will come and make mess of you. You wouldn't even know what to do with yourself. Forget about protecting somebody else. They say. And if somebody takes out a simple knife, you're finished. What's the use of your doing all kinds of practices and bodybuilding and big muscles? All it takes is a small knife and you are. So many instances in all our cities. What happens is we have so many management colleges and people reach high managerial jobs and they have money, power, they know how to utilize power and everything. And sometimes there is an accident or something or some mishap on the road and you get out of the car and some chap comes and gives you one on the face. And then I would like to see how you behave yourself. जितना पैसा पीछे में है, जितने management decisions you can take, can you handle this situation? How would you behave then? In Hindi we say बोलती बंद हो जाती है. Don't know what to say.